My name is Kaleem Ahmed. I am one of the pulmonary critical care and sleep specialists. I practice in Meritus Medical Center in Hagerstown, Maryland, in pulmonary critical care and sleep medicine. I'm visiting Dow University at the request of the faculty here, and today I'm going to talk about sleep and sleep disorders. So today we're going to talk about sleep and sleep disorder. As we know that sleep is essential to our overall health and well-being. The more we understand about this issue, the better we're going to be. Need for the sleep. Sleep has multiple function. Majority of the function is related to restorative function of the body, repair of the cells, hormonal secretion, energy conservation, learning and memory, and also it relates to sleep and chemical and physiological process and biological process. Wakefulness and alertness generating system. Brain has areas in the body which control our sleep, and it is important to understand some of the neurobiology and physiology. Some of the important aspects of brain physiology relates to the sleep and wakefulness is associated with ascending reticular formation system, hypothalamus, which is area from where the orexin is produced and effect on the body, basal forebrain, which is related to the acetylcholine secretion, and tubulomemory nucleus, which is the locus for the histamine release, and locus coeruleus for the catecholamine and dopaminergic projections in the ventral tegmental area. These are just the broader guideline. As you can see in this cartoon, these are the different areas of the body in the brain which is related to these neurotransmitters. Some important facts related to sleep. American adults average 7 hours of sleep on weeknights. We usually recommend about 8 hours of sleep. 50% have experienced insomnia at least a few nights during 1 week of the previous years. So it's not uncommon. In fact, it's a very common problem. Women are more likely than men to have insomnia. Another important fact is the 53% of American adults have driven while drowsy, and about 20% of them says that they doze off while driving, which is kind of a very dangerous situation considering the traffic scenarios. 11% uses a prescription and or over-the-counter medication to help promote a good sleep, which is a misnomer. Medication usually is not the best tool, especially if you have a chronic sleep issue. And 46% of US adults need an alarm clock to wake up at least 4 or more mornings a week. So you could understand that it's a huge issue. The question arises, how should we deal with this situation? So what are the interventions we can do to enhance our sleep? The common sense approach related to this issue is establish a regular schedule with consistent bed and wake times, maintain relaxing bedtime rituals and routines, create a sleep promoting environment that is comfortable, quiet. It should be dark and preferably cool. And also one has to avoid watching alarm clock if possible, and limit your naps. That will help increase the quality of nocturnal sleep. When you, most of the people here, they drink coffee and tea, mostly tea, but also the trend for coffee is increasing. Try to avoid it 4 to 6 hours prior to your bedtime. Also avoid nicotine at bedtime and also at night. If you are unable to fall asleep, it's a very bad habit to light a cigarette in the middle of the night, because that's going to have counterproductive effect again. If you have a sleep problem, do not use bedroom except for sleeping and sex. And most importantly, if you are unable to fall asleep, because of whatever reason you're not falling asleep within 15 to 20 minutes, do not stay in the bed and twist and turn and keep thinking and cursing and thinking how it's going to be the next day. Get out of the bed. Go somewhere else and sit quietly and do not engage into any other activities which stimulate your brain. And avoid alcohol, especially within 2 hours of bedtime. Now, let's change some gear and let's talk about the sleep physiology. Sleep has been divided into 2 distinct stages, which is non-REM sleep and REM sleep. And then non-REM sleep has been further divided into stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4 sleep. The recent guideline from American Academy of Sleep Medicine has changed this scoring criteria, and now we call them as N1 sleep, N2 sleep, and N3 sleep. What happened is the stage 3 and 4 of previous criteria was combined into one N3 sleep, which is primarily a delta sleep or slow wave sleep. And stage REM is now recognized as just stage R sleep. During a sleep cycle, which is the combination of the non-REM and REM sleep, this constitutes one sleep cycle. One usually has between 4 to 5 sleep cycle, and the REM sleep usually are more predominant in the later half of the night, as you can see there here. REM sleep, non-REM sleep constitute about 75 to 80% of our total sleep time. Stage 1 sleep is about 3 to 8%. Stage 2 about 45 to 55%, and stage 3 and 4, which is N3 sleep, is about 15 to 20% of our sleep time. On the other hand, there is some physiological changes happen during REM sleep, non-REM sleep, and those are primarily when we fall asleep. There's a decrease in the blood pressure and heart rate. There is a decrease in the body temperature and ventilatory rate and response, and there is a decrease in the brain metabolic rate. So these are the things which we get benefit from the sleep, that we decreases all these physiological activity during non-REM sleep, especially in the delta sleep. On the other hand, during REM sleep, which is about 20 to 25% of total sleep time, there is increased autonomic activity, the blood pressure variability and heart rate variability and ventilatory rate changes happen. Along with that, there is a paralysis of the striatal muscles, or intercostal muscles of breathing, the muscles of the limbs, they get paralyzed, and the only few muscles in the body are active, including the diaphragm, which is the cause for some of the issue when we see different sleep disorder, especially the REM behavior sleep disorder, when there is muscle atonia is no longer there, and then people start acting out in their dreams. And on the other hand, people with the sleep apnea, because of this decrease in the muscle tone and muscle atonia, the severity of the sleep apnea is much more profound in REM sleep. And in REM sleep, there is a further decrease in the body temperature. This is again some schematic description about how the sleep and how the wakefulness and different neurotransmitter, how they act, the sleep promoting neurotransmitter GABA has an inhibitory influence on the hypocretin and the orexin, and also GABA has a negative input on the norepinephrine, histamine, dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine, which are the wakefulness neurotransmitter. And then the person usually, with the influence of these, develops sleep. But when the activity of these neurotransmitter is much more higher and there is no negative counter-regulation there, then that stage usually produces sleep. So what are the consequences of sleep deprivation and sleep disorders? Well, if one is not getting good quality sleep, then the chances of increased industrial accident, motor vehicular accident, impaired judgment and job concentration, impaired social and family relationship, and there is a problem with impaired emotional functioning. Certain habits which causes disturbance in sleep, including caffeine use, smoking, chewing tobacco, alcohol, sedentary lifestyle, sleep disturbing bedroom environment, and erratic sleep schedule and behavior. Next, I'm going to talk about briefly about different sleep disorders.